Hi friends and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my end of the year book tag. Pretty certain I'm the last person to do this. I honestly haven't seen this tag around this year, but then I saw that Becca from Becca and the Books just posted hers and said that she was super late. I guess that means that I'm super duper late. But the thing with this book tag is it's called the end of the year book tag. It feels wrong to film and post it in like September, because September isn't the end of the year. End of the year is when you have like 2 months left of the year. That's when I'm willing to accept that it's getting to the end of the year. I always do post this later than everyone, I guess, but that is why. Now's the end of the year. Barely. This is one of those go-to book tags on BookTube, and I just thought it would be fun to talk about what I think my reading will look like these last few months. We're just gonna get to it, I guess. First question is, are there any books you started this year that you still need to finish? Yes. Big fantasies. Definitely. I mainly have 2. I originally wrote down 3 for this answer, but realistically 2. Both are blue. That's interesting. First off, we have 3 Shattered Souls. This is the 3rd and final book in the Broken Blades series, the one I've been making rant reviews for. We have 5 Broken Blades, 4 Ruined Realms, and now 3 Shattered Souls. This is not my favorite series, but I enjoy reviewing them, and I love the way they look. I am planning on making a rant review for this one as well. I did start it. I got it. I think this was released in like July or something. And I did read the first, 7 chapters. Here's one thing. Apparently I read the first 7 chapters, which is 46 pages. The chapters are like 3 pages long each. It's so different. This is a series I don't particularly enjoy or think is that well written, but I find them entertaining enough to get through and to review that I still do it. My plan was to read this as soon as I could get my hands on it and review it for y'all, but I wasn't into it at the time. I've started to make my notes and tab things that have caught my eye. I feel like we're gonna have the same issues as with the other books in the series. But yeah, I feel like I should read this before the end of the year. And then the second book is one I started in July, I think, and that is The Sword of Karigan. I'm like 160 pages into it, and I just sort of lost my flow with it. I'm not certain of why. I guess I started to pick up other books instead. But this is a book I really badly would like to read. People rave about it. So far, I can see the appeal, but I'm not sucked in yet. I need to pick this back up again and properly read it and get into it. Next question. Do you have any autumnal books to transition into the end of the year? I'm not certain if this should be for books I have already read or books I hope to read. And also, this is where it gets confusing with like end of the year, but it's autumn. I don't know. What I'm currently reading, which I feel like is like great for an autumnal transition, is the Twilight Saga. I'm rereading Twilight. I'm having the best time. I read Twilight. I'm currently reading Midnight Sun, and I do plan on continuing with New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn. Living my best life as a long-time Twilight fan. I feel like that's a great autumn recommendation, to be honest. For a book I haven't read, I feel like maybe this one is something I should read. Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. A cozy fantasy. It's a prequel to Legends and Lattes. I did enjoy Legends and Lattes, and I've heard good things about this, and I just feel like a cozy, nice fantasy, some bookstore vibes. That feels pretty autumnal, right? Is there a new release you're still waiting for? I had a look through books I have put down as want to read on Goodreads, and actually there aren't. Most of my anticipated releases were released this summer or early fall, so there isn't any book that I'm still waiting for, which is good. I still haven't read Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, which was one of my most anticipated releases. Fingers crossed I can still get to that one before the end of the year. But yeah, nothing I'm waiting for at the moment. I've been eyeing upcoming 2026 releases, and I feel like 2026 is gonna be a really good year as well. I feel like we will have some good new books in 2026. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? My pile is looking quite scary. These are the 3 books. Big books, heavy books, hardback books. Of course, I already mentioned Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soul. That one should probably be in the stack, but if I'm being honest, I put it in such an awkward place on my shelf that I need to take down that entire shelf in order to get it, and I can't be bothered today. It should be on this list, but I was too lazy to pick it up. But we had Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This is a book I'm borrowing from my colleague, so it would be really nice of me to reread it ASAP so I can give it back to him. I know he doesn't mind that I keep it for a while, but still. And also like the movie is coming out, so I would like to read it before seeing the movie. And I've heard amazing things. And I just read Atmosphere and loved that. So I am a bit into the space vibes currently. I read The Martian, loved that too. We then have Alchemized by Senlin Yu. I picked up the gorgeous stenciled edge edition. Like, look at this. It looks so cool. It's heavy, it's thick, it's big AF. It's over 1,000 pages. But I want to read it. The hype got me. I want to read it. I want to see if it's all that. When will I read it? I have no freaking clue. 1,000 pages. When was the last time? Have I ever read a book that's 1,000 pages long? I read 800-page books. I don't think I read a 1,000-page book. I made my attempts with War and Peace. But yeah, I'm typically not a fan of big paperbacks like this one. But because it's so thick, there's just something about it that actually feels quite nice. I don't know what it is. I just like how it's printed. It feels very soft, feels sturdy. So I'm okay with this one, but I think it's the page count. Third and final book I'm throwing in here is The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I purchased this quite early this year actually. This is some say it's a romance, some say it's literary. It is some sort of dramatic story with romance in it about two ice skaters, I believe. The reason I'm putting this on the list is because I am very intrigued to read it. I've heard good things about it. It's also a Wuthering Heights retelling, and I read Wuthering Heights this year, which is perfect. I have a feeling this is gonna be nominated in some of the Goodreads Choice Awards categories, so it would be nice if I had read it before then, to see if I want to vote for it or not. I heard good things about it at the start of the year. I haven't really heard much talk about it since the second half of the year started, but I still think it's gonna be a book that people would talk about in their yearly favorites and stuff. I know I didn't tell you anything about what the books are about. That's the way we're doing it today. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Amongst the ones I've talked about, like if you're talking favorites, like absolute favorites, I think maybe Alchemized could be that if it's as good as people say it is. One that was close actually, which is one of my favorite books of the year, and that I finished reading yesterday is, hold up, Atmosphere. But I already finished this one and gave it 5 stars. But if I hadn't done that, maybe this did shock me. I didn't expect, I don't know why though, but I've already read that. Maybe Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil then. Let's throw that one in there. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I'll insert the cover here. What trends have you noticed in your reading this year? I had a look through my stats on my reading log. One main thing I have noticed is that my main genre this year, by a lot actually, is fantasy. And that shouldn't be surprising because I always say that fantasy is my favorite genre. But in the last, 3-4 years, I feel like it's always been so tied between fantasy, romance and literary contemporary. Like, it's always one of those three, and they are always so close, like just one book apart or something in the total tally of the books I've read. Most of the time, I think that literary or romance has won. So the fact that it's so heavily on fantasy this year is interesting, because at the same time, I don't feel like I've read that many like big and epic fantasies, or like books that are heavy on the fantasy. But I feel like I've read quite a fair amount of books that are more fantastical, speculative, maybe romantasy, or perhaps like urban fantasies that feels like everyday-ish, but is actually fantasy. Because I don't have a romantasy category as well in my book tracker reading log. So it's either fantasy or romance. With many romantasy books, I'm counting them as fantasy. I feel like that is one trend I have noticed. And then if we continue to look at the genres, my second 2 highest genres aren't romance or contemporary. They are sci-fi and mystery. I don't know what happened this year. I know what happened this year actually. Sci-fi is because I reread the Hunger Games series, and all of those books are considered sci-fi books. That is why. Mystery, I think, is because of the audiobooks I've listened to. Simple as that. I think I just listen to more mystery books on audio. And like cozy mysteries and things like that too. Another trend this year, I've been doing a lot of rereads. Not like a lot, but many more than previous years. I reread 4 books in the Hunger Games universe, so the main trilogy and also the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I reread the first book in the Beartown series by Fredrik Backman just because I wanted to. I just felt the itch to do that, and now I'm currently rereading the Twilight Saga. So for this year I think I'm at like 7 rereads or something like that. Other years it's been like 1 or 2. Another trend also, I feel like I have fewer 5 stars than previous years. I'm not considering my rereads and the 5 stars I have there, but I feel like there are fewer 5 stars this year. We'll see by the end of the year, but yeah, at least the first half of the year had fewer 5 stars. And another trend, which I think is due to the fact that I've done many rereads, is I don't really feel like I'm reading as versatile as I've done previous years. When I look at my stats, I don't have as many nations represented in my reading. I'm lacking some in like representation of both like disability, queer authors, POC authors, just translated books as well. So I'm not as versatile as I usually am. Not that I'm a lot, but I feel like it's less this year. Because the books I'm rereading are mainly written by white, cis, het authors. How do you feel about your reading goals? I feel great about my reading goals. Thank you for asking. I'm currently at 49 books out of 52, and I still have 2 months left of the year. That feels freaking good. I'm gonna smash my reading goal this year, and that feels epic. And I know it's really because I caught up like these last few months, or like since summer. So that is really, really nice actually. I don't really have that many other reading goals, but I have my book buying game, and I've been killing that as well. I've stuck to the rules, I've done everything the right way. I haven't purchased books beforehand and then counted them in retrospect or whatever. No, I've stuck to my rules, except for maybe a tiny slip up this summer while I was away, but those were gifts. We all concluded that those books were gifted books because I purchased them with gifted money. I've been killing it with my book buying game, and I'm so happy about that. So yeah, I feel like it's turning out to be a solid year in regards to my reading goals. Not that I had many to start with, but it's been a good year so far. And final question is, have you already started making reading plans for next year? Why does it say that my battery is dying? Okay, let's be quick about this. No, I haven't. I'm excited to though. I want to, but I haven't. I'm usually much more planning than this, but because I'm more go with the flow with my content currently, I haven't done that. I probably will once end of November, start of December hits. That's it for this end of the year book tag. Please let me know what you plan on reading these last few months of the year, and also if you have any opinions about the books I just mentioned. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye!